Guys, welcome back to Urban Rhino Tutorials. On today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a fashion themed bracelet using end cones. So I have here my strands that I've already created, and I'm going to show you how to do one more of these. So I have 4 that are on fishing line with the ends crimped, so there's a little loop, and then I have a 5th strand that is just some rose gold chain, and then I'm gonna make a 6th strand, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I made these other ones. So I'm gonna take my fishing line and cut, let's see, there we go, about 12 inches. It's gonna be more than what I need, but it gives me enough to crimp the end, and I'm going to grab a small crimp bead. And if I can do this, there we go. I'm gonna slide the crimp bead on, and this is the same for any of our strands that are necklaces, earrings, bracelets. I always do this kind of same process. So I'm gonna take the end of the fishing line and go back through the crimp bead so it makes a very small loop. I'm gonna pull the crimp bead to the end so that that loop is really small, and then I'm gonna crimp the crimp bead right in place. So there we go. My loop is no bigger than 1/4 of an inch, sometimes as small as about 1/8 of an inch, just enough to fit a jump ring through. Now I'm going to put my beads on, and right now, because these are larger, they're just gonna slide right off. So I'm going to put a small little bead on first that will keep them from doing just that. So let me put one of these on here. And these are just the same beads that I used for one of my other strands. So we put one of these on. And then by putting that one on first, it's gonna keep these bigger ones from sliding off the end over the crimp bead. And I'm gonna go through and put all of these on until I get to the length that I want. These are just, long faceted beads. Still sticking with my kind of color scheme. That'll be easier. There we go. And what I'm gonna be doing once I get all these strands finished, so this is my last one, is I will use some wire to create essentially an eye pin that I will open the loop on the eye pin and put all of my fishing line loops on that, and then the bead cone, or you could use a bead cap, will slide over top, and it's a good way to hide all of the crimp beads in those loops. Sometimes if you don't do that and you just hook them all on a jump ring, it looks a little sloppy, especially when you have a lot of strands. So I really like bead caps and bead cones for that reason. So I'm almost done here putting these on. I do want to make sure that I get it the same length as my other strands. I did make sure to make my strands just slightly shorter than what overall length I need, because when I hook them all together and put on the toggle clasp, that toggle clasp obviously is going to add some length. So I'm just going to use one of these to determine how much further I need to go. So we're going to put on about 5 more. And then I will again finish the end with the small bead. I think that was 5. I can't talk and count evidently at the same time. Yep, we're good. So small bead goes on. This is just a little small seed bead, and then I'm going to crimp this end as well, just like I did with the other. If I can grab my crimp bead. So again, I will put the crimp bead on. It's so hard to do under the camera without putting my head in the way. So the end goes back through the crimp bead, and I'm going to pull it so that it's really close. I think if you put your round nose pliers in that loop, you can pull it. Maybe if I can grab a hold, here we go. You can pull it so that you get a really small loop, and then while you have it there, you can crimp it. Alrighty, so all my strands are finished up. And now I am just going to connect them all together with an eye pin. I'm just making sure that that's closed really well. Trim off the extra. Got a little on this side. Okay, so strands are finished. I'm going to connect, I have some little charms and I'm gonna put those on at the end. So now I want to make my eye pin, and to do that I'm just going to cut off about 2 inches or so, and I'm gonna take my round nose pliers. I'm gonna make a pretty big loop about halfway down my round pliers, grab a hold of it, twist, and make a loop like this. I'm just gonna open that loop a little bit and slide on all of my strands, including my chain, and I'm gonna do the same to this side, and then when I return, I'll show you how we finish this up. I have all of the strands connected. I've created an eye pin. I did the same for the other side, and I closed it up really well, so there's no chance of the strands coming off. Now I'm going to slide the bead cone or end cone. So they're called different things depending on where you buy them. I'm gonna slide it over the wire, and you'll see how it covers up, for the most part, all of my crimp beads. So it makes it like a nice finished end. I'm going to trim this down so that there is about a 1/2 inch sticking out, like this. Then I'm going to take my round nose pliers again, and I'm going to make a loop, just like that. That will hold the cone in place so that it doesn't come off. And then, so now my strands are finished. I went ahead and did the same to the other side. It's so pretty. I want to wear it right now. Now I am going to attach my toggle clasp, and then I'm going to put on these cute little charms. So to attach my toggle clasp, I'm going to use a couple smaller jump rings. I don't want them to be too big. You could always attach a tiny bit of chain if you make this and realize you've made it slightly too little, or if you want it to be adjustable, you could certainly do that. So I'm just going to put the jump ring on my loop of the little eye pin part that I made, and then attach one part of my toggle clasp on. You could certainly use a lobster clasp if you wanted, or a spring clasp. I don't ever use those, but, well, I didn't, my pliers are in the way. There we go. And then just make sure that you close up your clasp completely, like that. And now for the other side, the same step. And this bracelet could certainly be changed up. Colors, charms, all of that stuff. The beads will make these look so different depending on what you select. So I could do the same bracelet 500 times and not have them look the same. Okay, so the bracelet's finished. I could leave it as is if I wanted. So cute. I am going to add on these charms, and I usually try to put these onto the skinnier strands. So for this, I'm gonna hook one onto the chain, one onto this beaded kind of rose gold one, and then probably the bigger one I'm gonna put on this one here. So I'm going to open the jump ring, this little charm says, "I woke up like this." It's so cute. I'm gonna put that one right in the middle. And you just kind of pull the beads apart and slide it in there carefully. If I can get it to go. There we go. And this bracelet is finished up. So you can see all the cute little charms, and they'll kind of float around, you know, depending on how you're wearing it. So that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, guys.